All right, so I recently got into BFS and I figured I'm gonna start making some videos as a way to kind of document my progress, post them on YouTube, and hopefully somebody can learn that, needs to find out more about BFS, or just somebody else that wants to see how I run my setup. If it gives some benefit to somebody else, why not, right? So yeah, this is my first one on that. But basically, what is BFS? In short, BFS is basically throwing light lures on light tackle. 1/8, 1/16, in between, anything in between, maybe even up to like 1/32. So traditionally, I think it's known here more in the U.S. as finesse fishing. And that would basically, the impression of that was just to use spin tackle. That's kind of how I got started into that. Basically, this is what started it all. This one in particular is 1/16. As you can see, it's been kind of beat to heck and back, trying to skip it. And, but the point as to why I bring this up is because during the summer, I was catching pretty decent bass, about 2 to 3 pound bass, while trying to fish for crappie on this little tiny lure, on this rod specifically. This is what started it. This is the Panfish series, Panfish Elite, I believe. Yeah, Legend Elite Panfish from St. Croix. 6 foot spinning rod, ultralight. And then I have this Okuma Samar 10, size 10, I believe. Before this one, I was using a Shimano, what was it, the Sierra? The small size on the Sierra. And yeah, I was using about 6 pound line, if I remember correctly, because it's been a while since I've, kind of upgraded this setup. But basically, I had that rigged on there. I was catching, like I said, 2 to 3 pound bass, which is kind of interesting because, I didn't think that they would go for something this tiny. But it was hot during summer, and of all places, in a pressure situation, it performed well. And then after a while, I took it to other ponds, and all of a sudden, more fish. So then I found that there is something called BFS, and I don't remember exactly where it was the first time I heard it, but I started looking into it, and I was like, okay, bait casters, cool. That sounds awesome. But speaking of bait casters, so here I have, oops, sorry, I'm running low on space. I have this SLX MGL, which I've heard people throwing pretty light lures, and also this one's a little bit beat up, seen better days. But I've liked that. I like this SLX. I used to run 10 pound line on it. Right now, currently I'm running 6. This is a 1/4 ounce chatterbait. But before that, I tried to use this setup to throw 1/8 ounce lures. This is a medium action Kistler rod. It was not very accurate and was not, the casting was pretty horrible. So since, I was told that you have to go light on the tackle, I went to this trout rod here. This was given to me. Here we go, trout rod. So I'm running this all on my phone, so I'm sorry if I can't really show you very well. Daiwa, what is it, Spin-Matic. So this is a 7 foot 2-piece ultralight, super wobbly. Let me see if I can show you. Super wobbly. And then I put the SLX reel on there. And to my surprise, it did not cast well still, even on 6 pound line. And I was casting 1/8 ounce lures. So I was basically casting this, but the bigger version of it. And it still was pretty terrible. It was going, like, if I would try to cast directly over there where my finger's pointing, it would cast like way the heck out there. So that was not good. So then I went ahead and started looking at BFS specific reels, and I found this one. This was the cheapest option I could find. Again, it's got a lot of wear and tear, just because I would use the heck out of it. But this is a Zephyr from Cascade. probably the cheapest BFS casting reel I've found in the market today. Most of them tend to be pretty high end, especially because a lot of them tend to be from Japan. So the first one I believe is either SLX BFS or the Corrado BFS. One of them two was the first one to hit the American market, and that kind of sparked popularity on those. But I chose to start with a cheaper option just because I didn't know if I was going to really stick to this or not. So I had 6 pound line on this as well and casted it on that light rod that I told you about. I'm going to take the second piece apart now just so I can put it in the frame a little bit better. So yeah, so I had it. So like I said, I had the MGL here first. Did not go well. Then I went with this 6 pound line. Still didn't go so well. The accuracy was still better than the SLX, but not as good. So I put 4 pound monofilament, and that's currently what I have right now. And it worked a lot better. Still, the casts were a little inaccurate, but I think that might be because of the ultra of how tall the rod is. But I'll make a separate video on that pretty soon. But yeah, so far the winning ticket seems to be this Casking BFS. Again, this is about $70 on Amazon. I think it's like that on Tackle Warehouse as well, a bunch of other places. And yeah, I'll talk about this in a different video. But if you want to start into BFS fishing, I recommend getting a inexpensive light casting rod. Maybe not this one, but again, I'll talk about it in a different video. Inexpensive casting rod with one of these. Also, there's a site called Bait Finesse Empire that has pretty cheap options. I mean, BFS is not budget friendly per se, at least not known to be budget friendly. But for a bait caster for $70 that can cast light lures pretty well, I think this is definitely a budget option. I think, for what it's worth. Again, there's still some improvements I need to do with probably like the rod that I have. But again, that'll be covered in another video. So with this, you can throw lures like this, for example. 1/16, maybe with a little tiny trailer, will probably be at 1/8 of an ounce, maybe less. But yeah, you're able to throw that. And this as well. Pretty cool. So far, it's pretty fun. So it's pretty fun. You can't set the hook as hard as you would like in a traditional bass and hook setting, but it's a lot of fun, really. And one of the things that BFS shines at is being fished in pressured ponds. And I think a lot of us that only have access to public water, that might be super beneficial. So I don't know, definitely encourage people to try it out. Let me know what you think. BFS is short for Bait Finesse System.